Hello everyone, Jim Biringer, NHLRumors.com. Please subscribe to this video. Like, comment below. We're back again. We were just talking about contracts, extensions, contract, players that need them, the rumor mill earlier in the week. But we want to get into Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes. We also want to talk about RFAs, but we got to talk Connor Hellebuyck. And he made his trade request official on Thursday. Well, officially out in the media. Everybody kind of knew it was a worst kept secret that he wanted out. Was on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio talking about this. Mick Kern, he asked me, do I think Connor Hellebuyck was going to start the year with the Winnipeg Jets? I said no. I think he was going to get traded. I still do believe that. I think they're going to get it done going to training camp, but everybody put their words out. Winnipeg put their side out. Connor Hellebuyck put their side out. Both agreed change is needed, the desire to change. They respect his decision. He just feels it's time for a change, and I think he's right? If you look at it and you say to yourself, look, the change is needed. This team needs to, move in a different direction. He needs a different direction. He came out at the end of the season and called out the Jets, basically say the team needs to be better. It's hard to keep players. Where do they get these players? When you're there, yeah, you want to stay. But they were kind of enticed to stay. Winnipeg, small market, it's tough, right? And they were promised that the team was going to be competitive every year. This team is not competitive right now. You saw the moves they made in the offseason. Team's not good. Yeah, you get Viggo Bjork 8th overall, but that's not enough to keep him there. The defense needs to be better. They need a second-line center. You have Mark Scheifele, Kyle Connor, but that's pretty much it. Nikolai Ehlers is out the door. A lot of guys just didn't want to stay. Can't blame them. More so on the general manager than on Connor Hellebuyck. But Hellebuyck's playoff numbers speak for themselves recently. But he understands tasting victory with Team USA and that group chat. There's going to be documentaries about that group chat. They're going to live on for infamy. 30 for 30s, what went on. And you look at it and you say to yourself, they discussed something, whether he's going to Florida Panthers. There was a chance he could have. Maybe he still does. Maybe they make something happen, but they don't want to move off Anton Lundell, and don't blame him. Same reason why Dylan Larkin's not going to Florida. Panthers don't want to give up on Lundell. All right, so there's that. Then you Vegas Golden Knights, they got to move out some money, move out some goalies. Does Hurdle want to go to Winnipeg? Does Hill want to go to Winnipeg? San Jose Sharks, if he wants to win in a couple of years, that could be a spot. Montreal Canadiens, another spot. Detroit Red Wings, that might keep Dylan Larkin there. New Jersey Devils have a chance. Carolina Hurricanes, Hellebuyck system guy going to Carolina makes sense. But look, change was necessary in Winnipeg. He understood it. He understood that 33 years old, winning a gold medal with Team USA, it had to happen. It was time. Not to mention the geopolitical factors. He's got to talk about it all the time. He was kind of the face of it, State of the Union, the tensions between USA and Canada. Didn't really want to talk about it. Wasn't out as in front of it as Brady Tkachuk was, Mr. USA, Captain America, in the locker room. But he made his, he tried to do it the right way. Keep it internal. Tell the Jets, hey, Matty Merrill's Game Notes podcast, Dave McCarthy as well. They talked about it. Didn't believe, they said, hey, he's probably going to get traded, not going to start the season there. That kind of started the ball rolling. And here we are, heading a couple weeks into training camp. He doesn't want to be a distraction. Maybe he talks about it a little bit more. But you could say his statements speak for themselves. And they do. The statements do speak for themselves. But the Jets and Connor Hellebuyck are heading for a split. That's something we know. We also know that Team USA players want to leave Canada right now. And look, it's a thing. Are they going to draft American players? Are they going to sign American players from now on? That's something you have to look at moving forward for your team, especially Winnipeg. But speaking of signing, Cale Makar about to sign his extension. It was reported that, he's close to signing a deal. Joe Sakic wasn't worried about it. Originally, it was going to be Thursday. Could be on Friday when everybody's watching this. Could be a 5-year deal. Could be a 6-year deal. Remember, September 15th, CBA switches from 8 years max for a player on his team to 7-year max player staying with his team, 6 years going to someplace else. Could be a 4, 5, 6-year deal. Could it be $18 million, $19 million? It's going to be pretty big. Is it $20 million? It does take a little less like he did last time so the team can win. But whatever that number is, affects Quinn Hughes in Minnesota. Is the brotherly love still outweighing the money and staying in Minnesota where a chance he can win? Or does he really want to play with his brothers, which he could sign as a free agent? Then it doesn't matter. But if Minnesota does have to trade him, hypothetically, who goes that way? Is it a Dawson Mercer? Is it an Anton Siliev? Is it, Seamus Casey? Similar case in Hellebuyck with New Jersey. Who've talked? Could it be their new draft pick like Alexander Nikishin? Could it be Dawson Mercer? Could it be Seamus Casey? Could it be somebody like that? So, New Jersey working a couple of different fronts potentially. What happens with Makar, affects Quinn Hughes. And what happens with Quinn Hughes in Minnesota affects Dylan Larkin because those guys have been talking. Larkin only wants to go to Minnesota, even though there's other teams on the list. Wants to play with his buddy, but if his buddy isn't there, where's he going to go then? And then, again, say New Jersey hypothetically trades for Quinn Hughes. Don't sign that extension right away, similar to what Vegas did with Rasmus Anderson. You don't want to do it because there could be tampering. And again, there's potential tampering already, considering some of the information that's been out there. So, on that front, you say, okay, so what happens with Dylan Larkin in Detroit? Well, until there's a new general manager in Detroit, nothing's getting done. Simon Edvinsson's agent has come out and said he doesn't know who he needs to deal with. They're going to wait till GM is in place. The kid needs a new deal. Whether it's 8.55 like Mo Sider, whether it's more, whether it's less, he needs a new deal. Again, same dates apply for him if he gets a long-term extension. Does he take 5-year out like some of the other young defensemen are doing? But again, Detroit MO, they could have get this done last year. Didn't drag their feet. Remember, Mo Sider and Lucas Raymond were signed right before training camp. That's the feeling right now. Talking with people around Detroit. However, Brock Faber, 8.25. You have Owen Powell, 8.35. Keandre Miller, 8.5. He could get that. But Jackson Lacombe and Luke Hughes have $9 million AAVs. Some guys are in the sevens, like Brant Clark, Mitchikoff, and Nemec. Does he get that? So, again, Detroit, interesting situation. Jeff Greenberg. Could it be, Scott Harris, Andrew Thomas? Jeff Kelty's been interviewed. Brett Peterson's been interviewed. Scott White's been interviewed. Guys have been interviewed for this open vacancy. Steve Yzerman stepped away in mid-July. They're trying to get something out. Could they get it done by Monday? Maybe. When is it going to get done? They got to do it right. Can't rush this thing. Take the Nashville approach. That's what they're going to do. But they want an analytics guy. Chris Ilitch wants a guy like the Detroit Tigers running it that way. That's what they have to do in order to get it done. Steve Yzerman was fired. Ilitch didn't like that he didn't take on analytics. And here we are. Speaking of RFAs, Cutter Gauthier in Anaheim still needs a new deal, similar to Adam Fantilli in Columbus. All three, Edvinsson, 4 really, if you count Alexander Nikishin. Those guys need contracts. All should be in training camp. But the Cutter Gauthier one is similar in fashion in Detroit because Pat Verbeek, disciple of Steve Yzerman, dragging his feet. That's why the Leo Carlson offer sheet happened. With the $18 million, now Cutter Gauthier, who probably could have signed for less than 10, maybe at 10, as a 40-goal scorer, forget it. He already turned down a 4-year deal at $13 million. He's looking for $15, $16 million on a 5-year deal. He's a 40-goal scorer. Is he worth more than Jason Robertson? Is he worth more than Leon Draisaitl? No, but the market dictates so. And the cap is going up, salaries are going up, and he needs a new deal. But he needs to be in camp because this would be the 4th player in the last couple of years now under Pat Verbeek's watch that missed training camp or missed parts of training camp because of contract dispute. Trevor Zegras, Jamie Drysdale, a couple of years ago, now in Philadelphia, Mason McTavish last year, now in St. Louis. Is it going to be 4 for 4 with Cutter Gauthier? They need him. They have to make the space work. Got to move out Chris Kreider, Alex Killorn, and or Frank Vetrano to make this thing work. They don't have a lot of cap space. Again, the Pavel Mityukov deal, maybe too much at $7.2 million. But they put themselves in this hole by not getting work done last offseason when Jackson LaCombe was extended. Now they're in a bind, unlike the Montreal Canadiens. But Adam Fantilli needs a new deal. We saw, again, we talk about Leo Carlsson. Connor brought it back with the $15 million AAV. What does that mean for Fantilli? Fantilli in Columbus, probably going to get something done. 5-year deal seems to be the reports. Aaron Portzline. That's in line with everybody else. The Austin Matthews approach of getting deals done now. Hit it big a couple of times. Is it $13 million, $14 million, $15 million? Could come in around 13 to 14.5. Gets it done. But if you look at the stats between Fantilli and Carlsson, they're identical. Carlsson got 18. Fantilli could ask for 18 too. Going to be interesting watch. Those things could probably get done around training camp. Maybe the Gauthier one takes a little longer. Same with Nikishin in Carolina. Does that take longer? Again, all the defensemen are getting paid. Bo Byram set the market at 12.5 in Chicago. Does he fall in line with the Brandt Clarks, the Nemiches, and the Mityakovs? Does he get the 8s? Feels like he was, part of Carolina's future, but there was contract disputes when he came over, how he was going to be used. This feels like Marty Necas 2.0. Necas had contract issues, signed, but then was traded. Nikishin was part of the package that was going to Winnipeg. Had Carolina trade for Hellebuyck. Going to be an interesting watch with Nikishin in Carolina. They might be able to move him. He's kind of available if you talk to the right people. But Connor Hellebuyck watches on. Cale Makar watches on. Quinn Hughes watches on. Going to be interesting to see what those RFA numbers are in a rising cap world. Keep it locked in. NHLRumors.com. I'm Jim Biringer. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let your friends know. We'll be back again real soon. Take care.